All right, all my beautiful audiophile addicts, it is absolutely subwoofer mayhem up in the ABX audiophile crew right now. If you had watched any of my videos on our DIY open baffle project and just the absolute success that it was and how many people we have building those open baffle speakers all around the world, all of the developments and updates that we've seen and done with them, and just how high they are punching up into the retail space, we decided to reach out to the group to design a DIY ABX Audiophiles subwoofer that's going to be free to everybody. Not free, I'm not giving them away, but all of the plans, specs, measurements, reviews, everything is going to be available to you guys. We're working it out in our Discord right now, and I'm so excited. I just wanted to come on here and just share with you guys kind of the updates and developments. You're gonna not want to miss this if you're interested in easily building a set of subwoofers, dual subwoofers, that will probably annihilate a lot of flagship stuff out there. You're going to want to be a part of this experiment and this adventure that we're having in our next phase of DIY stuff. Let's check this guy out. I got to show you this thing. Look at this. Okay, so here's what we did. I'm just going to throw it out there. We designed a $500 DIY. You can see it's DIY because I didn't paint the bottoms. 12-inch sealed enclosure. Look at this. Looks like Minecraft, yo. This thing is 50 pounds. Oh my God. It is absolutely insane. The goal was $500 was the max budget for the subwoofer. We've got a couple really smart guys in there. A couple of our administrators, our group folks in there are really smart and knowledgeable about DIY subwoofers. Have built a lot. We built this thing, and we put this up against our REL. I think they were the HT10003s. I think they were about $700 a piece when they were kind of popular. So we were kind of shooting for that like $500 mark per sub. Of course, it is a passive sub. It's not an active subwoofer, so we didn't use a plate amp. What we decided to go with was, because we were running dual subs, is a crown amplifier with DSP. So we did kind of do that. So I'm going to walk you guys through that process today, what this subwoofer looks like, how it performed, and it's pretty impressive. You're going to want to stick around. Let's get into it. Let's jump over to scene 2. I'll start walking you guys through the build. Okay, so here we are. We're in scene 2. I'm going to walk you guys kind of through what our thoughts here were. Now, just as a point of like transparency, I am not a sub designer. What I did was we started having a conversation about DIY subs and all of the kind of cool stuff that is happening in the DIY space in our group. And I thought, well, hell, man, we did a baffle. Let's design a subwoofer. So Matt Nestor, he's a member of our Discord, and he's been designing and building subs for well over 20 years, very educated. And so as a group, mostly with his kind of expertise, this is what we came up with. What we wanted was we wanted something simple that anybody could just put together. You don't have to worry about screws. You don't have to worry about fit up. You don't have to worry about anything. Just slap it together, smear some glue in it, put some clamps on it, and rock it out, and try to punch as far up the ladder as we can. And we're going to be doing a full review on this. But here it is anyway. At the end of the day, here's the baffle. You can see you've got the sides, the front. We've got good thick bracing. This is all 3/4 inch CNC'd MDF. It comes just like this. You can, if you wanted to, you could order this flat pack and have it delivered, or you could actually get the plans and have somebody CNC it, or CNC it yourself, or just work off the specs and kind of do what you do. So anyway, it arrives like this. It's all flat pack stuff if you decide to go that route. And you can see it's got this nice thick center brace. The front baffle, again, is super nice and thick. This piece here actually goes across the back here to kind of brace this back. I don't think it really needs it. This thing is about as beefy as you get. And then we made this nice little front plate. So when you put your driver in there, you can see it right here. When you put your driver in there, you'll be able to put this on, and it kind of just flushes out the face of the driver with the baffle. But look at these nice joints here. It's a nice little, it reminds me of, I'll show you guys, it reminds me of Minecraft when we get going. But it just clicks all together. Glues together really nice. You can see the build here. There's a nice little picture of it. Full flat pack. Really super cool. There we're gluing. You can see we're using a tight bond. I went and got some clamps. All you really need is clamps for this thing. Clamps, paper towels, glue. I mean, it's super, super. There's not much going on there as far as like needing, tools. Here's some clamps. I just went to the the cheap place to get some tools. I got these guys. I think they were like $7-8 a pair, maybe even less than that. You'll need 18-inch slide clamps. Don't try to get the 12-inch, and you don't need the big long ones. The 18-inch ones work perfect. I think this box is about 13 or 14 inches wide. Get yourself some tight bond original wood glue. If you want the newer models, they got like type 2, whatever, you can get the high-end stuff if you want, but that tight bond glue works really, really good. Tacks up pretty quick, and then after 30 minutes you can almost take the clamps off of it, although I left them kind of clamped up. I did try a couple different clamps here. I got these Bessie clamps. These are a pretty good brand. I got these off of Amazon. I think they were about $12-13 a piece. Or you can go to the cheap spot and get the $7, $8 ones. But you can see like just this pin right here. Look how much better that pin is. These are just kind of thin and cheesy. The threads and the handles and all of the different protectors are a lot better on the Bessie ones. These just kind of fall off. They feel really cheap. They're kind of sharp and hard edges. But anyway, that's up to you how much you want to spend. There you go. But there's a couple options. We used both just to get used to them. So here we go. We just slathered glue in there, stood this thing up, clamped it all together. You can use a little brush, like a paintbrush kind of thing, or a little roller to put the glue on if you want. I didn't do that. I literally just poured it in there and kind of spread it around with my finger a little bit, and then started sticking these things together and putting clamps on it. The main thing is you just want to get glue in between any surface that's going to be wood to wood. So all of this interior baffle here, all of that trough that's down in there, and the recesses, lay glue down in there. So when you put that stuff in there, it's got glue basically everywhere that you're going to contact wood to wood and you want it to stay. And be healthy with it. Let it drip out of there. Let it pour out of there. Don't worry about it. As it kind of pours out, you can take a paper towel and wipe it down. It's not a big deal. Or you could just let it go and scrape it off. You can see over here, look at this, man. Look at all that glue just spewing out of there. So be generous, be healthy with the glue. I used a couple bricks. If you notice, this is elevated off the table. I have a butcher block table that I did this on right inside. So I got a pro tip from Matt. We put a couple bricks underneath it so that our clamps were able to slide underneath there easy. And then he advised to use wax paper, so you can get some parchment paper, and then all the glue drips on it, and it just cleans up super easy. So super, super cool. There you go. Get the glue in there. Don't be afraid. So this is it all together. You can see the front baffle. I did not put that face on yet because I wanted to wait until I had the driver in there just to kind of make sure and test it. So we just kind of waited for that. And as that glue kind of starts to set, you can get in there with a little putty knife or a little rag. Wet rag works really well, and kind of get that glue out of there because you are going to want to seal. This is a sealed sub. So you're going to want to be able to use some a sealant as like caulking as we go, silicone, on all the joints inside. So there they are, all put together. This is kind of just a picture. I think this is actually, yeah, they might have just dried. I think I just got the clamps taken off of here. So there's our two boxes. They're built for a 12-inch woofer, and we'll get into that woofer. Super, super simple. I mean, there's nothing fancy about this. We wanted to go cheap and punch as high as we could. So that's what we did. So there's the boxes complete. You can see those joints right there. We don't need any screws. We don't need anything. Just bada bing, bada bang, slaps together. Done deal. Anybody can do this if you got some glue and some clamps. And that was kind of the other goal. We wanted to design it so that it would be, kind of easy for everybody to do. So here I got the face gluing. You can use the same clamps as we had. I have these things laying around. I got these at like Home Depot for like $3 a piece. But you don't have to. You could use the same furniture clamps if you want. And we kind of set that in there, marked it. We made sure all the driver was going to work. On this one, I just kind of brushed the glue on with an old paintbrush because I didn't want it kind of squirting out because I didn't want to have to clean up this joint in here. So I did this one a little bit sparingly. It's not a structural piece. It's more of just an ornamental piece. So you don't need to get wild on the glue there. There's before and after, so you can see how it's kind of recessed. It's kind of recessed here so that driver will just nestle right down in there for you. So that was really cool. So you get a little sneak peek of the driver behind there. We'll get into that driver. I'll show you guys what that is. So now here you can see if you look inside here, I've got all the glue cleaned off basically, and we've gone through and we've siliconed every single space that we could, every seam you want to get silicone on. You can see there's still a little bit of glue there. I didn't get too crazy, but I ended up kind of scraping that stuff off. You know, and then all the joints are kind of nice, so when we go to finish this thing, it'll be pretty easy. There she is finished. Again, you can see all of the silicone there, some of the clamps we used. That's kind of done. You can see that brace. There's that brace in the back we were talking about. Let's see, did I skip one? No, I didn't. Okay, so then what we did is we took it outside, and literally you could do this by hand. If you just get some 60 grit, you could just 60 grit this thing and rough it up, because what we used bed liner, like for trucks, like the Dynamat stuff or whatever, and it took me 2 cans, one tall can for each of the subwoofers. And so you can see here, we just bomb can this stuff. And this isn't completely done yet. We're probably like second or third coat here. I was just kind of taking some pictures. But what you want to do is you want to go out there and you just want to kind of lightly dust the thing, so it just kind of starts to turn black and it starts to stick, kind of get it tacky. And then come back about every 15-20 minutes and kind of just spray another little spray on. Yeah, and then alternate your pattern. So as you're spraying your spray paint, go left to right, left, right, and kind of sweep the sides with the paint, and then you're going to leave for a while, and then when you come back and you do the other coat, go up and down and kind of sweep, you know, so you're kind of changing the pattern. It makes for a lot better finish when we're done. There we go. We're getting some, you're starting to get a little bit of gloss to it now. We got this nice texture. It's starting to build up really good. There we are, finished deal right there. You can see we've got it all done. And we just kind of left it rustic. My group was like, hey man, let's just kind of keep this thing straight up DIY, bare bones. Let everybody be able to do this thing. So there we go. You can see it starting to come together. You've got that nice little texture to it now. You can see that texture starting to form to it. Really, really cool. And here's the driver. Let's talk about the driver. Okay, so this driver is the Dayton Audio HE. You can see this thing is an absolute beast. I'm going to run you through kind of some of the technical aspects of it. I'll basically run you through the PDF that Matt created, like if you wanted to build this thing. But these drivers are just extra quality, extra beefy. I mean, just this alone is probably better than most of your name brand, manufacturers are using. This is probably going to better that pretty significantly. For instance, we took the Rel 1003s that we have in house, and that entire subwoofer did not even weigh as much as just the boxes in our baffles. So it's pretty impressive what we created here and how it performs, and we'll kind of get into that. So there's the dual drivers that we went with. It's the Dayton 12-inch. I think it's the HE. I'll give you the exact model here in just a second, and we'll kind of go through that. But these things are just all beef, man. I mean, it's dual sets of binding posts. You know, they're super heavy. That magnet assembly, I mean, the things are just insanity. There's a thing of the texture. That's the final texture of the thing. So it looks pretty good there. Looks pretty good. So anyway, that's kind of a rundown of that. There's the boxes, one painted, one not painted. I showed you the drivers. Before we kind of get into the stuff further, let's cover that driver real quick. I want to kind of show you what we ended up going with and some of the options that we have for you guys. If you do jump in the Discord, all of this stuff is available. And let's give you a rundown here of the PDF that's created for everybody, which will be on the website too. Okay, so here is the PDF that's available, and we kind of drafted up 3 different options. Well, Matt did. Like I said, Matt Nestor, you know, he kind of did this, but like, look, oh, here I was even wrong. 40 years doing this kind of stuff. So we designed a $500 musical subwoofer. So our thing was, we didn't want this to be an SPL subwoofer. We wanted this to be a musical subwoofer that most of us audiophiles would be happy to have in our 2-channel hi-fi system. Not that it won't work in a home theater. We just kind of geared it to be more musical than SPL. So that was kind of one of our goals. The constraints that we gave everybody was $500 for the amp and a speaker, and we were kind of assuming that you would DIY the box. So obviously, you know, you would kind of cover that cost, but or if you wanted to, you could pay and have them made as well, and all of that information is in there too. So one of the cool things is he really took a lot of time to kind of look into and research a bunch of different subwoofers. That's too close. So he says over 150 subs were researched, provided manufacturers design limitations from TSP parameters, sensitivity, sealed box tunings, require all of this stuff. He went super, super deep. And we thought within the price range that Dynaudio RSS31 5 HE22 really kind of was the one that fell in to do the best that we could. So there's three packages that we thought of, came up with. There are some plate amp options. So if you wanted to get a plate amp, you could. We're looking at the Young SD500, $249. You get the Dynaudio speaker at $208. If you get that HE2212, $208. Basically $431 for the stuff, and then you would DIY the cabinet. Now, if you want to get the cabinet made and shipped to you and all that stuff, you know, that's going to be an extra few $100s. So that's going to jump you up a little bit. But what we ended up doing is we ended up going with the flat pack and the driver. And we went passive, so we didn't go with the plate amplifier. So that put us at $500 to build the cabinet and get the drivers. So we went with that 12-inch speaker, and ended up just going with a Crown. You can pick up these Crown XLSs, and the reason we kind of went with that is because you can run dual subs with one amp, and then you've got the onboard DSP. That you could DSP your subs, and it just makes a really nice, easy kind of implementation there. So again, there are better ways to do things, and you could do it differently if you wanted to, but this was kind of the thoughts that we were doing, just trying to get the best bang for buck in the price point rather than the most convenience. So option B is kind of the one that we went with. We went with this Crown with the SE12, $460 total package right there. And what that gives us is negative 6 dB, 20 hertz, 94 dB sensitive, flat from 30 hertz to 200, and it's really got a perfect blending into like a 2.1 system. Of course, we ended up going 2.2, but max output over 125 dB at 1.5 kilowatts. And he gives you kind of a rundown. So if you're kind of interested, and then also all of the specs and dimensions here are available. So if you guys wanted to do this yourself, you definitely could do that. Gives you step-by-step cost, cubic feet, I mean everything, and then how you want to finish it out. And then also we get some of the responses, performance. He gives you everything you need, all of your information on really kind of how to put this thing together. So that is super cool. Okay, so now that we went through kind of the specs, the PDF and stuff like that, let's jump back into the pictures real quick. We'll wrap this review up. If you guys want to jump in our Discord or check out our website, all this information will be available to you guys to build. So here it is in the system. The thing turned out pretty good. I found the same isolator feet that SVS uses on Amazon under a different company name for $10 cheaper. So you can get these things, I think they were like 29 bucks or something like that. I think the SVS ones are almost 50. But I have both of them, and they're literally identical. They come from the same manufacturer. Beautiful looking sub. You can see how that trims out nice right there. We've got that front plate on there, so it flushes out right to the woofer. There it is compared to the Rel 1003. And there really was no comparison sound-wise. Once we got this hooked up, running off the XLS, I ended up just picking up a 2502. You don't have to spend that much money. But a 2502, I had a guy locally that had one for pretty cheap, so I ended up just grabbing it. And it's way more than you need. You do not need the 2502. So there's a little front shot of them. Both fantastic subs. In the price point, we got this Rel for $385 clearance. That is a banger of a sub in that price point. Jumping up to this guy here, $500 for the sub. There's just no comparison in performance. We'll kind of talk about some of that here just coming forward, but there it is. Fun little project. Looks really good. Nothing super fantastic. There it is, dual integrated into my system. Right there in that system configuration, we're running the DirectStream DAC from PS Audio. We've got the PrimaLuna DiaLouge Premium KT88 tubes. You can see the Crown amp down here. That's pipe into each sub. So basically what you do is you just run an RCA out from, your integrated if you have a sub out. If you've got something coming off your, preamplifier, you just run RCA or XLR down to the Crown and then just speaker wires out to the sub. And then you just do all your DSP, obviously with your phase and stuff, you're going to have to move forward, move backwards. We didn't run any direct. You could dig deeper into that if you wanted to. But again, we were just trying to go budget, bang for buck. And that's kind of what we did. But what a beautiful looking sub, man. Just absolute stunner. Great looking system. Really fun to to audition this thing. The nice thing about the crown is you can set it in low pass filter, so it literally just, and I think we got it crossed over about 45 hertz, 50 hertz. You can adjust the volumes on each channel. Really versatile little amplifier, and it works really, really good. So anyway, let's jump back out of here and we'll get back into it, wrap this up. All right, so that is the ABX audiophile DIY sub. If you are interested in that thing, make sure you jump in our Discord, check our website, abxaudiophiles.org. All of the links to everything are there. We'll have links in the description below. This is all kind of just community-based stuff. So if you are interested in building this, working through this super DIY project, we're not here to make any money off it. It's just about doing this as a community. So what I'll tell you is the subs that I've had some B&W 600 series sealed subs. I've had the REL 10003s. I've had the Emotiva subs. I've heard some different subs at some buddy's house. I've had a massive Fosgate, the old school home theater one. It was like a 15-inch driver. We've created some open baffle subwoofers. So we've got a little bit of experience with subwoofers. I've also got the SB3000 from SVS here. And these subs better all of those handedly. You don't get the convenience in the way that we built them with the plate amplifier and the phase and stuff like that. But, you know, you could do these with the plate amplifier if you wanted to. We have designs for that. I didn't want to because I wanted the absolute best bang for buck in the sub. I wanted to build the best sub and not kind of have that plate amp, you know, equated into there. So I ended up using that crown. This is one of our concerns as a group, was that we were going to create a sub that was SPL based, kind of like SVS, you know, just that huge pressurizing with minimal musicality and imaging to it, and nice texture and tone, and you know, a good quality sound. And so Matt really went to a lot of detail to choose this driver appropriately and design the box appropriately to make sure that we didn't do that. And I can tell you that this is an absolutely musical sub. It's nice and quick. It's got good detail and texture, got good punch to it. It does pressurize the room. I mean, it will get you there, but there's no bloat. There's no overhang. It's pretty clean overall. And so we're really impressed with it. But anyway, if you guys want to check out more about that, jump in our Discord, check out our website. Like I said, we'll be doing a full review just on the sub. This was kind of just a walkthrough to show you how to build it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Appreciate you. I'm James, your ABX audiophile. Have a good day.